gentlemen, I'd like to welcome to the stage Rod Beattie. Wow, I guess if you have a play coming up to play a schizophrenic, you're going to be really prepared for that. Playing 17 characters tonight. Unbelievable, that was just a great performance. Once again, please give Rod Beattie a hand. So Rod, which of those characters would you say is most like you?
Well, I don't really, I don't especially identify with it. I suppose that Walt is closest to me in a way, because Walt is kind of the decompression chamber between the city and the country.
Yeah.
But I often feel more as if I'm playing the author Dan when I play Walt than myself, because Dan actually has committed a number of these follies himself.
Is that right?
Yeah. Dan had a perfectly good life as an executive in downtown Toronto, and he gave it up and moved to a farm, which he describes as being about $7 million south of Collingwood.
Is Dan here?
I'm
here in the
Dan's
lobby?
not here tonight. No,
Okay.
No, he doesn't come to the theater very often. He has to be up early. He's a farmer, and he's broken all of his rules. One of his first rules of farming was never have an animal with a central nervous system.
Now, which one of those characters do you think has made the most impact on you?
Jeez, this is hard. This is like Oprah. I think Spike, the Hound.
Now, other than obviously all the hours that you put in, this great performance that you've done, what do you think has made the Wingfield series so successful?
Well, it's probably something you should ask the audience rather than me, but I think that people see in Walt some of the things that make us, some of the things that are the best of us as a people.
Right.
Walt has a lot of the quiet virtues that Canadians regard as virtues and other nations don't. Things like actual humility and actual self-deprecation and a great sense of humor about himself, and a huge tolerance of his own foibles and other people's. And I think that when I do this play in the States, I find that, and which hasn't been very often, but I have done it, and farmers are farmers everywhere, and they get all that stuff. The thing that I notice again and again is that people are less quick to identify with Walt. I think that the idealistic stockbroker is less believable on Wall Street than on Bay Street.
How would you say that this role has changed your life?
Well, it's kept me working. It's curious. I've done this play now almost 4,000 times, the Wingfield series, over close to 25 years. And the first thing that strikes me about it is that it's a luxury that you just don't get in this business.
Yeah.
You don't get to play a part or parts, in this case, anything like that number of times, and you don't get the chance to know the people that well, nor are they to know you. I've always had a suspicion about acting that it isn't so much a matter of the actor finding parts of him or herself to approximate the character. I've also thought that it's actually a matter of the character allowing the actor to get closer and closer. And if you do it for 25 years, 4,000 times, you can get pretty close.
Yeah. Now, would you say that this has been one of your more challenging roles that you've ever done?
Yeah, it's a big range, and it's a big challenge. It's a lot of concentration to do a one-person show like this. And I noticed when I've done other parts, there aren't many people who can say that doing a major Shakespearean tragic role is actually a step down in terms of the requirements. But it is actually, just technically, it's not as as strenuous as this. So it's kept me in good shape too.
Now, how long did it actually take you to learn all those lines?
You mean this play or all 7?
Yeah, actually both.
Well, of course, as you get older, it's harder. And but I aid and abet the writing process.
Oh,
So
okay.
so some of these lines I know before I start to memorize the play, and I guess that shortens the thing slightly. But it's very hard work. And I discovered this time I'm learning the 7th play at the moment.
Amazing.
Which will open later this year. It'll be called Wingfield, Lost and Found.
Where?
And
Open where?
It has a little preview in Orangeville in a month or so. I'm afraid it's sold out. It's sold out within about 18 hours of going on sale.
Storm the doors!
But then it will start this summer at the Belfort Theatre in Victoria, British Columbia. And then we plan to do the rounds with that. And I'm discovering this time around that learning lines is a young person's sport. So it gets harder.
What's something that you've learned about yourself from this experience of doing this whole series?
I don't know. I think one of the things that I learned is that is the value of perseverance and what some would regard as stubbornness. Because although Wingfield seems now like a kind of an obvious thing for a theatre to do, and it helps theatres in their budgets to have it in their season, it wasn't the case in the beginning that the theatres realized that. And for the first few years, Wingfield was a really tough sell. And I banged on doors, and I called in favors, and I browbeat my colleagues in the business. And I've often thought since that there probably are a lot of things out there which haven't survived simply because people haven't stuck at it so stubbornly. It takes years. I once asked a guy that had done a friend of mine had done a film with Hal Holbrook. Hal Holbrook is the wonderful actor who does Mark Twain. And he said, well, when do you think he started? And I said, well, I know when he started. He started about 1963 because that's when I first saw it. He said he started in 1949.
Wow.
But it took 14 years before anybody noticed it. It's a hard business.
Now, when you're talking to people as you travel around, do you get the sense that they like it because there is a connection to reality in this play? Because critics have said that. What would your response
They
be?
know.